obviously don't want to answer.
67%, we're correct. There are 5 general record book objectives that apply to all record book categories. All right.
Used to be 10.
I was going to say, but you can still, depending on what you look at, there are still 10
Yeah,
references
it
in some of
depends
the
on
materials.
Yeah, you can find some of the old material out there.
I just got a copy, well, I was helping judging on our local level,
Mm-hmm.
and I had actually gotten a copy of what to go off of, and it still referenced all 10 of them.
Oh, wow.
So it's like,
Yeah, so our research.
that's all right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. How many projects can you list in the 4-H learning experiences section? So that the first page of the report forms. The guidelines recommend that you reference X number of projects or everybody get their vote in. Let's see. Okay, 48% of you are correct. It says the guidelines say to reference up to 4 of your strongest record book projects, or not record book, 4-H projects. And so, of course, obviously, if you're just starting out in the 4-H program, your child may not be at the point that you're taking on 4 projects. Even if you've been in the program for a while, you may just really focus on 1 or 2 projects that are really strong and don't even get up to 4. But the guidelines do recommend that you can go up to 4 in that section. All right, next question. What's the maximum number of pages for your 4-H story and photo portfolio? Now mine is, yeah, I was going to say, disclaimer, with the exception of the photography category, so just in general, what's the maximum number of pages for your story and photo portfolio? That's what sure it says. Responses. All right. Let's see. 10 pages is correct. So 95% of you got that right. Good job. And so, of course, with the disclaimer, if you have a photography record book, you can add an additional 6 pages that are directly related, photo pages that are directly related to your photography project. All right. I think we'll get to our last question. Which of these, now read this carefully, which of these things cannot be reported in the non-4-H activities section of your record book? Which cannot be reported in non-4-H activities. Okay. 4-H community service, because there is a separate section for 4-H community service. So I'm impressed that 57% of you got that right. You should include in all that non-4-H activities should be school activities, church activities, organizations that you're in outside of 4-H. And then the thing that sometimes throws people is if you have a Clover Kids program in your county and your child has participated in that, all of your Clover Kid activities should be listed under non-4-H. I know that sounds confusing because you think, well, Clover Kids is part of 4-H, but they're technically not of official 4-H age yet, and so all your Clover Kids stuff also goes in your non-4-H activities page, that very last page of the record form. So, all right, we'll quit quizzing you first thing this morning and go ahead and move into so just some things we'd like to cover today in this 2-hour session is discuss the current record keeping and record book system that we have in place right now. Probably many of you, it's still very fresh in your mind because you just recently in the last month or 2 probably helped your child complete their record book for this past 4-H year. It's gone through the judging process. And so we want to talk about that. We want to certainly give some pointers and some tips to improving the forms that are in the current system. As we mentioned, there are some changes or potential changes on the horizon, I should say. But what Derrick and I really want to learn from you today is we're going to show you what some of the ideas are, and we want your honest feedback. And so no one else is going to has seen any of the stuff that we're going to show kind of in the second hour. And so as we show it to you, whatever pops into your head, if you think, oh my gosh, that's horrible, please tell us. If you think, oh wow, that would work, but maybe we need to tweak it. And we do have an instrument where you can write some of those comments down if you don't feel comfortable verbally sharing them with the group. But anyway, and so as we demonstrate some of a online record keeping system that's kind of in the works, again, we really want y'all's honest feedback as we kind of walk through the steps of it and show that to you, so that we can kind of gauge where we need to go from here on implementing some of those changes. And we're done using the clicker, so y'all can push those aside out of your way. All right, so just real quickly, I wanted to share this with you. This year in May, when they brought in all of the graduating seniors that had applied for a 4-H scholarship, the application process, if you're unfamiliar with it, is you apply, normally turn it in sometime in February. There's a panel of judges that review the actual paper applications and score those. And then of those, the top ranking ones get invited to go through an interview process. And if you are invited to go through the interview process, you're going to get some sort of scholarship. It may be $500, it may be $15,000. And so you're guaranteed some scholarship if you get to the interview process stage of the game. And so when we conducted the interviews in May in Austin, once the kids came out of their interviews, we gave them this little short survey asking them about, we were trying to figure out, is there a correlation between kids that are getting our 4-H scholarships and those that are doing Recordbooks? And not to get into a bunch of the statistics, because we don't, there's probably lots of other more in-depth research we could do, but again, just asking them some very basic information of the kids that went through the interview process. So again, those were guaranteed to have got some form of 4-H scholarship. 88% of them had said they had completed a record book. So, I mean, I think that speaks highly of those that have been consistent about keeping up with record books to assist them with the scholarship process. 42% of those had completed a record book for 7 to 10 years of their 4-H career. And so not quite half of them had pretty much done record books from when they first joined 4-H at 8 or 9 years old until they were graduating. 86% said that the record keeping skills they learned helped them in actually completing the scholarship form. And then 83% said they had used their record books as they were filling out the 4-H scholarship application as well as others. And so, you glean from that whatever you want from the information, but we just thought it was interesting to see. So obviously, there was 12% that said they'd never done a record book, and they still had a successful scholarship application. They made it to the interview process. Now, we didn't track them one for one to be able to go and say the ones that got, $15,000 or $16,000 scholarships have done record books, and the ones that got $500 hadn't. So we didn't get that detailed information out of them, but we were just curious to see, is the record-keeping skills they're learning from doing record books of any benefit when they get to this point of the game when they're graduating and doing scholarships? So those are just a few of the statistics I pulled from our data on that. So as we kind of get into the meat of stuff this morning, y'all share with me, what is the real purpose of us trying to convince our kids that it's important to keep records or to do a record book? What are the discussions in y'all's households? Is it just something that we tell them they need to do just because it's part of the 4-H program? Do you see benefit as a parent or a leader? What are we trying to accomplish by making them keep records and do record books?
It helps them organized.
Keeps them organized?
It helps them year to year look and see how much they've accomplished and what they've changed.
Okay, good point.
And if they don't write it down, they'll forget that they did it.
Yes.
So you forgot you did that community service, which could be very well in an application or scholarship.
From month to month, you forget which. Yeah, exactly. As a 4-H parent or volunteer, what do you think motivates the kids to do it? Is it mom standing over them with a paddle? Is it an awards program on the county level? Is it, And what do y'all think motivates the kids to get it done?
I don't think the kids really know, the younger ones. In our case, our family, it's just my wife did it, for 9 years, and she just knows the benefits of it, and she's trying to influence the younger kids with her knowledge.
Okay, very good.
I'm trying to teach my girls the financial piece, because I think money grows on trees. So just to get them to understand, we make money with this money.
Sure. Sure. I will say, I mean, from my own 4-H experiences, that is the one thing I remember about record books is every year when we sat down at the kitchen table and we're working on record books and we had to figure out, I primarily showed livestock projects, but figured out the expenses versus income. It was really eye-opening for me as a young person to go, oh my gosh, I had no idea that we spent that much money on feed this year, whatever. And so I guess it made me, even if I didn't show it at the time, probably a little more appreciative of my parents and the commitment that they had to keeping me involved in the 4-H program. So, any other ideas?
In our county, it's expected, and therefore it's not a question of, if you're in your record book,